Today's question has 3 answers, and the third answer is a secret that makes it possible to live off your books. Now, let's get right on into the question. Today's question is, how many books do you need to sell to make a living? And this is a very common question, because the idea is, if I sell so and so many books, then is it possible that I'm going to be able to live off of being an author or writer, or even if you're paying ghostwriters to write books, living off of the income, the income that comes from the royalties you're going to be getting from your books? So this is a very, very common question. So the first thing before we get started is I just want to let you know this is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com. Go ahead and hit the subscribe if you would like me to create more videos like this one. And also check out my list below to see in the description, you will see my checklist for self-publishing secrets. So let's get started. When I first started publishing, I really wasn't trying to make money per se. I was trying to see, is it possible to even make any sales? I wasn't actually sure that the model itself was one that could be used. So what I did was I published a book, just a random book a subject that I was interested in, and then I did another one, and I put the books out there, and I discovered, you're making a few sales here and there, nothing particularly fancy, and so I assumed, well, it's probably hard to make a living off of books. Okay, so that was a reasonable assumption, since I wasn't making enough money that you could actually live off the books themselves, and so that was a bit of a challenge. However, I later, after taking a number of courses and reading books and blogs and podcasts and all sorts of stuff, I began to understand that yes, it is possible to actually win at the self-publishing game, and you can, in fact, live off the books. So let's get right on into the answer. So the first answer is that, like most things, it depends. Well, how much money do you need to earn to make a living? As you can see on the second answer, the poverty level is about $12,200 for a single person in 2020. And the average author on Amazon makes $1,000 a year. So you can see clearly that if they're making 1/12 of what it is to be on poverty, then maybe the answer would be no, it isn't possible. However, that is where the secret comes into this, which is that 95% of authors who are publishing on Amazon have no idea how to properly sell and market their book. They may even have great books and markets that would be willing to buy those books of theirs, but they simply aren't making those sales because they're just not doing a number of things to make sure that the books are set up to make the sales. So the first thing is they aren't optimizing their books. They're choosing keywords, or they're choosing topics that people are not interested in buying. So that would be one. Or oversaturated markets where there's so many books on those topics that it's not of interest to the audience to look at this particular author's books. The next thing is their covers are bad. Their description is bad. Their title is bad. The book is formatted poorly. They don't have a review team in order to find a way to get reviews for their books. So you have a number of things. And the final one is they're not running ads against the books. Each of these mistakes is costing that author earnings on that individual book. Now, for most authors, the ability to publish a single book and live off of it is slim to none. You're not going to be able to do that for the most part. There are exceptions to the rule. Sometimes you get lucky on your first try. However, you're going to need a series of books. You're going to need to come out with a series of books. For me, I came out with 170 books, and I'm well above the poverty line. I can just say that with regards to the royalties that are coming off of those books. The other thing is making sure those books are available in the ebook format on Kindle, the Amazon print edition, hardback on Lulu, the Ingram Spark paperback edition, the ACX Audible edition, so that we have a whole series of options available to our readers so that when they are ready to buy our book, the book will be ready for them to find it wherever they wish to read the book. And we have multiple books so that they're all bringing it in, because on a daily basis, I don't know which of my 170 plus books is going to sell on which of these platforms. And that is the beauty of the situation, which is the more books you have, the more options readers have to buy one or more of those books on a given daily basis. And that starts to build us a little, let's just say, a lot higher than $1,000 a year, which is what the average author on Amazon is currently making, which is actually is pretty lousy, right? I mean, in fact, many of the books on Amazon are making just a couple sales a year, which is terrible. And so we want to increase our chances of ensuring the books that we do have out there are actually selling. Now, why don't you tell me a little bit of what have you found? Have you found it's possible to make a living off of Amazon, off of your books alone? Go ahead and let me know, and check out my video above, and you can see more videos just like this one. Thanks.